Guess who's back, guys? Hey there, guys. What's going on, everyone? Welcome, everyone, to the Hustle Factory podcast. I hope that you guys are having a great day so far or a great evening, whatever time or day that you guys are listening to this episode right now. And I know that some of you guys might be, you could say incredibly surprised or just even wondering about time that I finally uploaded an episode and so on. So if you're a new listener of this podcast, first and foremost, I welcome you to this podcast, the Hustle Factory podcast. And what is this podcast is all about? In short, this podcast is basically all about entrepreneurship, motivational rants, like with a hint of entrepreneurial perspective. I started this podcast a couple of years ago, so I decided, I have so much to say about life, especially, I really love the topic of entrepreneurship. That's what the Hustle Factory podcast is all about. So if you're into that, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel and as well as on my other podcasting platforms, and I will let you guys know about that. So for those you guys don't know who I am, real quick, my name is John Lim Dimas, and I am the host of this podcast. I'm a very entrepreneurial guy. I'm into different things. I'm into business, finance, and even, cryptocurrency. I've been studying with that for the past couple of years, and to be honest with you guys, I'm still a pretty noob on that end. So do let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of cryptocurrency for now? And if you guys missed out the previous episode that I uploaded long fucking time ago, I believe that was an episode that I uploaded about what is the most important lesson that I've learned at Winn-Dixie. So, definitely check it out, guys, and you guys will know more about exactly what happened to me. And usually, around this portion of this episode, I usually do like some sort of a promotion of a certain product or service. And like for the past couple of years now or episodes, I've been promoting this product called Raise Energy. It's a fitness product by Rep Sports. It's an energy drink. I've been promoting it for every episodes now, but at this point, I am not gonna promote it because I don't wanna. You could say I don't wanna waste anyone's time out there. And since this is would more like be like a quick update episode, what happened to this podcast. But if you are very interested to know more about Raise Energy or Rep Sports, check out all the info in the description below. And if you do happen to get some of it or give it a try, you guys are more than welcome to use my personal code, which is HSPS, and when you use that code, you'll get 50% off on all the orders that you get through that website. So other than that, if you're very interested, go check it out. So what is today's episode is all about? As you may notice, for the past couple of months, I've been incredibly inactive on this podcast, and especially on social media space. So in this episode, I'll be quickly talking about why, you could say I haven't been active for the past 5 to 6 months now here on this podcast, and as well as on social media space, content creation. I'm gonna briefly talk about more what exactly happened, not being too dramatic whatsoever, but this is exactly what the fuck happened. So let's get on to the meat of this episode. What the fuck happened to me? I wish there's an easy or shortest way to say this. I could just say in one sentence and be over with this episode. No, the purpose of this episode is I want to go ahead and let you guys know what's been going on with me, and especially what's been going on with this podcast. What is the future per se? The short story is, if you guys watched the previous episode 4 to 5 months ago, where I talk about what did I learn on what is the most important lesson I've learned on Winn-Dixie. So that's exactly what happened. You could say I lost my job at Winn-Dixie since June 8th, and to be more specific, at 8:05 p.m. And yes, I still remember the time I was fired. I was let go because I had a little conflict with an employee who doesn't want to listen to me and so on. I may have lost my temper, said some dumb shit. That is a short story on what happened to me. You could say for the past 4 to 5 months, I've been pretty much incredibly down. Can you really imagine that you've been working to the same company for the past 5 years, and then out of nowhere, they're just gonna fire your ass off like that? The point is, the fact that I was extremely down, it really resulted in me feeling so demotivated. And when I say demotivated, I'm talking about I'm feeling so down to the point that I don't even want to get up in the morning and I just want to sleep all day long. I don't want to do jack shit. I'm just being lazy. That's what I felt like. I was so demotivated, and it's gotten to the point where I don't even want to touch and create content here on my podcast. And that's exactly what happened, I was just so fucking down. I mean, what else am I supposed to do? Nobody's helping me, but I have to help out myself. In general, I just feel like I kind of ghosted everyone for the past 4 to 5 months. Not because I wanted to, but because I was just so down. I don't know what the hell to do. I was kind of a little bit confused. And then, within that time, believe it or not, guys, I was just going crazy and doing a huge job hunt search here in my area, Avon Park, Florida. And guys, I gotta tell you right now, it has been the most painful, most humiliating, most embarrassing, and the most annoying experience of my life for the past 4 to 5 months, okay? That shit is just annoying, you know? It's annoying because every time I do a job hunt and I apply and I ended up getting an interview, which by the way, I get like an interview or two per month. Anytime I go there, I show up on time, and anytime I do that, I always ended up getting rejected or ended up getting declined for a job just because I'm either overqualified or I didn't met the right qualifications, which, what are the qualifications exactly? And honestly, guys, there are some other reasons as well why I've been inactive a lot lately. Since I had no job for the past 4 to 5 months ago, I have zero money coming in, zero income, and that's just the fact that I had no job. Without me having money, I can't do jack shit. I can't afford to keep some of the services that I used to run my podcast, so that's another reason why. Speaking of that, I have to rely on doing different odd jobs or gigs around in my area in order for me to survive, in order for me to at least earn some sort of a little bit of money just to get something to eat. Maybe $20 or $50, whatever. It's better than nothing. And speaking of jobs, around that time frame, around September, I've discovered an app. I believe it's called ShipSmart. And ShipSmart is basically an app that lets you find different jobs or gigs around the area. And, it could vary from anything. It could be like a job as a cleaner, a maintenance cleaner, groundskeeper, pretty much anything. Anything that whatever your area has to offer, whatever the app has available to you. And, the one that I did in my area, or at least that I applied, it's called a remote survey caller. And, it's exactly what you think it is. It's a remote job, and it's pretty self-explanatory job. So what you do is you pick shifts on what you want to do. Pretty much the same concept as you becoming as an Uber driver or DoorDasher. You get the concept. You work at your own time, your own pacing. You pick your own shifts. You got your own schedule. With the remote survey caller, I get to read out the script on my screen and just ask them a bunch of questions whenever I make calls. And I just want to give you guys a heads up that, the type of service that I do for the past few months was not my favorite cup of tea, It's all about politics, which even makes it even more annoying to do every day. You got to sit in your chair for the next 7 hours asking stupid questions about who would you vote and so on. But, that was my experience. And speaking of ShipSmart, I was thinking about that since I'm coming back to the podcasting again, I kind of want to do a review episode on the app ShipSmart. So if you guys would like me to see that in the near future, go ahead and comment down below in the comment section and let me know if you're actually down to know my experience about that. Would I recommend it? Would I not? And along the line, around August, I got an opportunity to get hired by the South Florida State College bookstore as a seasonal sales associate. And the job itself, it's a pretty nice job. You get to talk to college students, get to help out, check out their textbooks and so on. You pretty much get to socialize with them and customer service per se. Unfortunately, I gotta tell you the truth, guys, I didn't even last a week there because let's just say I had some sort of internal issues with the college itself. So the next day, I was called by my manager. She told me that I can no longer come back there because there was some sort of an issue. You're not supposed to be there and so on. And I want to go and tell you guys more about why I'm not at the college at the moment. It's kind of personal to me, but when the time comes, I will tell you guys more what's going on. It's not that I'm being a pussy and just not telling you guys anything, Not that I've talked about all the shitty crap that I've been going on with me. Here's a quick update. Around end of the October, I actually recently got hired by a retail store known as Big Lots as a store associate. And I gotta say, guys, you may not see it on my face, but I am extremely fucking thankful that somehow I was able to finally get a job here in Avon Park, Florida. I gotta say, it was such a fucking relief to me. I just want to go ahead and give a huge shout out to anyone out there who's been supporting me for the past 4 to 5 months and who knew my situation. They never gave up on telling me, just don't give up, just keep looking out, keep hustling, keep grinding, stop dwelling on the past, just forget it, move on, Everyone out there, especially this guy that I knew at the college since 2012. His name is Leo Hector. So, Leo, if you're watching this episode, man, huge shout out to you, man. Thanks for all the support you've been telling me for the past couple of months. My situation has been pretty shitty as well. Really helped me out. So, huge shout out to Leo, man. I hope you're doing great there out there. Before we almost wrapped up this episode, I just want to quickly mention that I know for a fact that I definitely, and I feel like I owe you guys, every single one of you guys, a huge apology, especially to the ones who have supported this podcast since day one. And, not to mention to all the amazing content creators that I have met over the years. And another thing, just another huge shout out to every single one of you guys out there, I'm talking about to all the content creators out there who are grinding out on what they're very passionate about. And that means I am giving a good shout out, especially to Little Leonessa. You know who you are, Jules. Louis IPA, Louis, Chance Mac, And, other content creators out there, I just want to apologize from the bottom of my heart that I'm not ghosting anyone out there. I was just having a difficulty time. But here I am. I'm back at it again. All right. So now that we got all the personal drama with me going on out of the way, let's move on what's going on with this podcast. In a nutshell, what's really going on with this podcast? Well, I gotta say, guys, some of you guys that been tuning in on my podcast for a long time may be noticing that I've been incredibly inconsistent with the amount of episodes I've upload lately for the past few months. And yes, I will definitely agree with that. And it's like back then, I was able to upload at least an episode or two per month, or even 3 episodes in a good day. The only reason why I've been inconsistently uploading episodes on my podcast is just it's gotten to the point now where honestly, I'm starting to get a little bit insecure with my podcast growth. When I say podcast growth, I meant my podcast is not reaching the right audience that I wanted to, and that's exactly why I'm kind of always asking every episode to, if you found this episode very valuable or you found this episode pretty amazing and you would like to share this to anyone, please give it a like, comment, and even subscribe to this channel or even on my podcasting platforms as well. And I gotta say, I'm still gonna stick to the same format as well from the old ones, like where I will do between 15 to 30 minutes of episodes, in the exception of, interview episodes. Holy shit, is it just me or is it just hot in here or is it just the lighting? Maybe, you know what? Maybe it is the lighting. Oh, by the way, guys, speaking of the lighting, is my lighting too bright for you guys or too low? I gotta tell you guys, I'm still gotta learn how to do light. And especially for this podcast will still be uncensored, meaning there's gotta be a lot of that F word or F that, like fuck that, oh shit, it's uncensored. I will never censor this, and that's what makes this podcast very unique from the rest out there. I know there are podcasts out there who also, are pretty uncensored, but to a certain degree, they censor it as well. What I'm trying to say is, I'm gonna say what I feel like, what needs to be said. I know this is kind of getting in the way of my YouTube monetization, but that's okay. That is not my goal at the moment. I just want to be able to do what I really love to do. And, you could say, guys, along the way, I'm still going to update you guys more on what's going on in this podcast, future itself. And I got to say, the future for this podcast, I think it's looking pretty good for me so far, the fact that I'm finally getting back on my feet. I just want to go ahead and wrap up this episode by just saying some few important things. So, future of the podcast, I got to say, after getting a job back, I am really looking forward on getting back on uploading more episodes on this podcast once again. But, I just want to go ahead and give you guys a heads up that it may take me a while to get back on my feet, to get back on being consistent again with this episode. So, it may take me a few weeks, few months, maybe a day or two. Who knows, just be patient with me, and I promise you, once I start to get back on the roll, and once I get my mojo back on podcasting and content creation, I promise you guys, I will not go ahead and let you down again. And other than that, guys, I just want to say some few important things about life that I've learned over the five past months. I'm sorry, 5 months. First thing first, you may be eating shit right now, but I'll tell you this right now. It's not meant to be permanent. For those of you guys don't know what eating shit means, is that eating shit means it's basically just another way of saying you're having a fucked up life, you're dealing with some dumb shit that you can't control whatsoever, So eating shit is actually a phrase originated from one of my favorite content creators out there. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk. I really love that phrase, eating shit. If you're struggling with life right now, what I'm trying to say is it's not meant to be permanent, but if you keep dwelling into that, then it will be permanent, Don't make it that way. So that's just my definition of eating shit, at least according to Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, at least that's the way how I see it. So Gary V, if you happen to see this episode, do let me know what you think about that. No matter how fucked up your life it may seem, and I'm begging you guys, please don't ever fucking give up, because I gotta tell you guys right now, the moment you do so, then, it really is fucking over for you. I mean it, guys. And I have a challenge to anyone out there, I dare anyone out there, and I mean anyone out there, to tell me on this podcast, on the comment section below, tell me straight up into my face that if everything that I have said on this podcast so far is pure bullshit, do tell me. Do tell me in the comment section below. Doesn't even have to be comments. You can even go and message me on my socials, and I will say that later on. If anyone can prove me wrong, or if anyone can tell me that everything that I've been saying is pure bullshit about life, then I will double down on that bet, and I will for sure stop podcasting ever again. I will actually even, and that's a promise. Anyways, I just want to go ahead and thank everyone for you guys tuning out and watching this episode, whatever platform you're watching or listening this to. And I know that it's been a while, and if you guys watching this episode again, you're still supporting me, I really, really appreciate it then. And like I said again, if you missed out the previous episode, you can go and check out the previous episode on the top card above or in the description below. And aside from listening and watching this podcast on YouTube, the Hustle Factory podcast is actually, live on other platforms as well. They're live on Anchor, Google, Apple Podcasts, and so much. All the platforms will be in the description as well. So if you don't feel like watching on YouTube, you can listen on other platforms as well of your own choosing. And, if you happen to be listening on Anchor and you find this episode valuable, you can easily support this podcast by hitting me up on the Anchor page. And if you're feeling incredibly generous about it, you can drop a quick donation about it, and it will mean a world to me, guys. Just any amount will be amazing. I will not be complaining. And another thing, guys, just want to do a quick shout out to Chance Mac for providing me the music for this podcast, especially for the outro. So, Chance Mac, I hope that you're not upset the fact that I haven't gotten in touch with you for a long time, because I've been busy as well, and I got a lot of personal stuff going on. But I'm glad that I'm finally back on my feet and I can get back on podcasting again and entrepreneurship. And all of my socials and podcast social will be on the description as well. So check us out there. Give us a follow. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Just give us a follow and I'll follow you guys back, and let's get to know each other. Let's talk about entrepreneurship and life. And other than that, guys, if you guys are listening this during or after Thanksgiving, I just want to go and quickly say Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And just remember, always be thankful and grateful no matter what. No matter how fucked up your life it is, just be thankful, And, guys, I will see you guys later. Remember, just keep hustling out there. John Lim Dimas, signing out. Have a great day, everyone.